Hello, hello. Blessings to all and welcome to Inner Landscapes at Enchanted Evening. And hello, my dear Taurus friends. This is your July 2018 monthly reading. And as usual, with my readings, before I actually get into laying down the cards for you, I did receive a few messages for you from the divine and from your divine team. And so to start off, they're showing me that you Tauruses are this month they're showing me in a sense that you're in a vortex of emotions. They just show me a vortex of swirling emotions around you. And it's all to do with watery, emotional type things that have really actually gotten to you or will be this month. And they're also showing me that many of you, especially those who generally don't do this, that because of this, these emotions, these swirling emotions that you have going on, it's caused many of you to go through a real crying jag. Maybe even to the point where you're not sure how to stop it. It just comes on, and there's a good cry that you have. But what they also showed me with this is that at least some of you are angry about this. Not so much angry as far as you having and dealing with all of this swirl of emotions, but more so that you cried about them. Why? Because they're showing me that that's the best possible thing that you can be doing and could have done, and that you will do for what you're feeling and sensing this month. That it's literally a spiritual release. Crying, it is the best thing you can do for your soul, your spirit, your body in general. It's an energetic release. So sometimes you're forced to do it, and if it's to the point where it seems like you essentially don't feel much control over it, that means it's all the better that it's getting out, and that it's getting out now, because the release needs to happen. If it's happening in that way, it means that you have so much stuff either pent up, or so much stuff that you've taken on emotionally, that it's taken on its own momentum in this vortex of energy, that let it all out. Let this energetic release go down the drain with these emotions that you're having, this release and dealing with all of these emotions. Just let it out into the swirling vortex, because what it's showing me is that these emotions that you're carrying around, they're not staying with you. There are a lot of them, but they're swirling into a kind of drain. That's the same thing. The same thing that you see, for instance, in a bathtub or a sink, when you filled it with water and then you begin to release it, that vortex that forms above the drain, that swirling motion in the water, that's what they're showing me your energies, all of these emotions are doing. But go ahead, you don't really have much choice but to go ahead and feel them, allow them to pass through you and to pass right down into this drain, which is essentially the whole reason why this vortex formed in the first place, so that it can pass through you. They've been sitting there, they've been collecting for the longest time, like water collecting in the bathtub, but now it's to the point where it's being released. It's being divinely released. So let the emotions and the crying, the energy that goes with all of that, just let it out. Continue until you just can't anymore. You can't drop another single tear, and you'd be amazed at how much better you feel afterwards, as well as they're saying the fact that you'll feel better if you're not trying to fight your tears anymore or these emotions. They don't show me fighting your emotions, but they show me fight. You guys are extremely, some of you, upset and frustrated with yourself for crying, but they're saying don't be. Please don't be. It's the best thing that this is intentionally happening for your best interests, okay? Then the last part they showed me was essentially you guys sitting in a boat, just a little boat, a little rowboat, but without any oars, just you sitting there. And I feel it's interesting, for the most part, I feel like most of you are sitting in this boat alone, no oars, no nothing, on a still body of water. Everything is just calm and still. But then for some of you, there is another person, maybe your partner, sitting in this same boat with you. But for the majority, I do get it's just you alone in this boat. And what they're saying with that is that this is you, especially with the energies of this month, what's going on this month, sitting and feeling like you're not getting anywhere. I don't know if that's necessarily not getting anywhere with, with what's going on with you right now, or in general in your life, but they're just giving me the sense that many of you feel you're not going anywhere. Nothing's moving for you, and that you don't even have the option to move because there are no oars, no paddles. You can't move, and there's no flow in the water around you. It's just still. So there's no movement. The boat's not moving, you're not moving, the water's not moving, nothing is moving. And they're saying that this as well is also intentional, because even if you wanted to right now, they're showing me you don't know if you were to have paddles or oars, that you wouldn't know which way to begin rowing, because you don't even see land. You don't know which way north or south is, or you don't know which way to turn at this point. And they're saying that that is intentional, that you are meant right now to just sit still, be still. Even with this prior mentioned vortex of emotions that you do have going on within you, even within that, sit still. It's intentional for now. You're meant to just sit still with these emotions that you have and get through this purging process that's going on with you. Feel them. Don't necessarily worry about which way you should be going, which way, that the fact that you don't have any true signs of what direction to head in right now, because they don't want you to start heading anywhere right now. They want you to sit within yourself, deal with what's going on within you. And then they're not saying this, but I'm assuming and I'm guessing you'll see more signs than you need heading in the direction that you need to go in. That's just me throwing in my opinion. I usually I do keep my opinions out of this, but that's what I'm assuming, because I've seen this type of thing happen before, and that's usually the way this goes. So I'm giving you that little heads up. But for now, what they're giving me for you is that you are meant to sit still right now and deal with where you are. Meditate, in a sense, on where you are, and just be okay through this, with this purging process. Let it all go. Let it all flow right down the drain. And that does take a little bit of time. So that's what they have for you this month. So let's go ahead and get into these cards. Now, usually I do shuffle ahead of time, but I have not with these. So just give me a moment if you would. Get the energies for you guys going into these cards. Try not to do that on the table if I can help it, because it seems to sometimes get too close to blowing the candle lights out. Okay, so a few readings ago for this monthly signs that I was doing, I was guided to lay down for that reading what I refer to as the timeline spread, and that's a few extra cards that I put down, usually for my personal readings that I do for clients, so that I can capture better points in time, and we can drill down into what's going on in those points in time in detail. But like I said, I was guided for you guys, for YouTube videos that I do, to go ahead and lay down a spread. And so since then, I've kind of adopted that. I think I will keep it for all of the YouTube readings that I do. We'll see how that works and goes. But I'll explain the timeline cards that I've laid down when I get closer to that, when I get through the rest of this my general reading. Okay, so let's get started. The first card I have for you shows what the general energies and goings on for this month for you are, Taurus friends. Essentially, this is the overarching energies for this month, or overarching, however you would like to say that. And this is the wedding card. Let's see what they have to say about this. In general, it shows me that this month for you, Tauruses, is heavily dealing with, either for those of you who are married, with your marriages. For those of you that are not married, it's to deal with your partnership that in whatever way you've merged with somebody, whether it's just boyfriend, girlfriend, living together, whatever stage you are, is to deal with that relationship. And for the single people, it's dealing with the fact, for those of you who want to get married, getting to marriage, getting to finding a partner that you can, take that walk into marriage with. Those are the general energies of this month. And the next card shows what the foundation or the roots of your general energies for this month is, the reason for it, the why behind the general energies for this month. And this card is titled Retreat into Nature, Green Man. And what this tells me in regards to your general energies for this month is that this has come about for you this month because you all, my dear Taurus friends, have been doing a lot of work on yourself. You've been doing a lot of work, and there a lot of growth has been happening, and I believe that's what ties back into this the swirling vortex of emotions that I saw earlier come up for you. That all of the growth work you've been doing has necessitated this huge purge that I saw. That for most of you is coming up as a purge of emotions. But they're showing me that you've grown in so many ways, and that essentially this has changed you. And it's showing up in different ways in your marriages or your partnerships, or your desire to pull in that husband or wife for yourself. You've done a lot of growing. And this is a past energies card, so this is what's been leading up to now and what may be going on now, but that's what's brought this on. So that tells me that all of these changes that you brought on and that you have been going through is deeply affecting your relationships, whoever it is that you're partnered with, or if you're not partnered yet, this is affecting. All of these changes is bringing a new type of person in for you, a new possibility in for you, because that's what you've been working towards. And what I'm getting also from the two of these cards together is that all of the changes within yourself from the work you've been doing is necessitating change within the other, your partner, the marriage, the relationship, or the relationship that you're pulling in, the type of person that you're pulling in. Okay, next card shows me what you truly desire in regards to this situation for this month, what your core true desire is, and this is called Layla. And this is really saying you just want, many of you just really kind of want time alone. Not all of you, but many of you, it shows me, do feel like you need or want to be in that boat that I mentioned in the beginning that I saw you guys in, on still waters. I don't think you like the feeling of being there, but I feel like you feel the desire or the need to be there so that you can process what you're going through, the changes, the beneficial. These are all beneficial. Well, these are all beneficial changes that I'm seeing that you've called in for yourself. So that you can, but it is a lot, because prior to all of your growth, there were other things there that need to be purged out so that they don't stand in your way as blocks or obstacles anymore. That's what this vortex of emotions that I'm seeing is. It's getting things together in the momentum so that it can, going so that it can be pulled away from you and out of your experience, out of your energetic field. And they're saying with this, you just want to be able to process everything. You want to be able to contemplate everything, and you really do need to be in a still enough place within yourself and within your life to be able to do that. Okay, next card is showing me what your luck is, or really what it is that you've already worked on, the seeds that you've already energetically sown in regards to this overarching energy for this month that's already working in your favor without you having to do anything else. It's already working for you. It's in your flow. And it's called Detach from Drama, Pallas Athena. They show me you. Oh, wow. You're really, so what you've really put work into, and you actually already, this is already in your favor. It's already in your flow. You're already manifesting this. They show me that you have put a lot of work into incredibly strong foundations for you, for your marriage, for your partnership, or your partnership to be, or marriage to be. It's like you've built this incredibly well-foundationed, strong cathedral for your relationship or your marriage or your partnership that is apart and unto itself. They're showing me. It's just for the two of you, and it's really solid, almost fortified, protected. And that also, this is showing me that it is protected in the sense that, how can I put this? You've cut it off. Energetically speaking, I'm sensing you've cut this palace or cathedral for the two of you off from all of the negativity of the world that may be going on around you in your world, your community, your environment. You've protected it from all types of nonsense that could disrupt the harmony within your relationship. That's what you've been working towards. So that is in your favor this month. That's in your flow. Now, what is something you have to work on for this month, what your challenge is for this month, that you don't, because you don't already have this energetically in your flow, you haven't kind of sowed these seeds yet, is titled acceptance. And what it's showing me is that the challenges that you have this month, they're really minor. They're little things here and there. Some of them are challenges in feeling more secure. Small, this is, like I said, it's not a huge thing, but a little bit. There are some areas within your relationship that they're showing that there's still some insecurity there that could use more grounding. And yeah, that's all. That's really all. That there are just little aspects that you're going to have to work on that will pop up, and you'll know them when they do pop up this month, of little things that you may not have necessarily paid attention to before, especially with everything, all the work that you've been doing, with the growth that you've been putting into place in this castle or cathedral or palace that you've been building for the two of you. Little tiny things, but essentially they're saying this month there's no huge challenge for you. There's no glaring thing that you really need to work on. It's a few little things, not a big deal. And they're mostly to do, like I mentioned, with your subconscious, things that are just below the surface, like how you feel about the secureness of the relationship in certain areas. Overall, everything else is that you've done the work already. You've done a lot of work already, they're showing me. And outside, this card shows me what outside influences or other influences are affecting your overarching theme for this month, the general energies of this month. And this is a good one because this is titled You Can Do It, and it's Archangel Michael. And this is the playing no games Archangel Michael, not the sweet, gentle Archangel Michael that can come around or be felt sometimes. Not the big brother Michael. This is the business Michael. So he's coming in with, remember I was mentioning in your luck or flow card, you've built this area for just the two of you and you've protected it. Well, guess who's been helping you with that protection and to cut out any nonsense that may try to enter within, any lower energies, anything that goes against the two of you, your union, anything that goes against the sanctity of your relationship. These are the outside influences. This is what's influencing and affecting your relationship and protecting, I should really say, your relationship without you really having any say-so in it. He's doing his job because on some level or another he's been called in to do so. So that's working for you. Next card shows me what divine guidance is or messages of advice are for you, from your team, your divine team. And this is titled Law of Attraction. And this is just showing me they would like you to always be in the space, in the energetic position of holding this relationship that you have, that you've worked on, closest and dearest to your heart, closest to the vest, is what I'm seeing. Always hold it in that manner. Hold it as if it is precious to you. Never let it drop from that position. That's their advice for you for this month. A lot of relationship work this month. A lot to do with that. Huh. I'm also getting, this is very, very far and few between. There may even just be a handful of you, but some of you have actually, the ones who are not, so with this last card, the advice card, I'm getting, what I mentioned to you, hold this relationship closest to your heart above all else. But within that, I did pick up that there are very few of you that actually are choosing not to stay in this partnership. For those of you who have a partner or are already married, there may be divorce on the table, but I see that's like maybe one or two of you who have decided to go separate ways because they see that's the best thing. Excuse me. Excuse me. Bless me. The best thing for the relationship, that they're showing me, even so, to continue to honor the relationship that you did have, the marriage that you did have, the partnership that was there. They're showing me to even still hold that to your chest. And while you're going through your separation process, to not allow any kind of negativity, to still protect that, even though it's not necessarily a union anymore. It still had its place in your life, and that what did occur, that was of high value within that relationship, because there had to be something along the way that did to get you to the marriage or the partnership or coming together. Value that and hold that closest to your heart so that you can better keep out any kind of drama. Not let more drama than that may have already built up in the relationship leading to the separation, not let any more of that in. Basically just do away with any drama coming from the outside or that comes up between the two of you through this separation process. Let any nonsense go. Protect the sacred parts that have been there and move forward in a positive manner. Let any nonsense, any junk, any lower vibrations go. Protect that relationship still. Honor it still is what they're saying. Okay? So the next card is telling me what they show as your greatest strength for this month. And this is actually what most people don't realize, is that your greatest asset, your greatest strength is something that you already have within you. They're tools that you already have inside of you that you can pull out to use at any given time, because it's something that you've mastered and become strong in within yourself. And this is titled Ray. And what this is telling me is that your best asset, your biggest strength for this situation in this month is that boat that they showed me, you sitting in the middle of a large body of still water without those oars, you sitting still with yourself and within yourself. is your best strength, your best asset right now, because it's going to allow you to tune in to all that you need to tune in, to hear and receive everything that you need to hear and receive from the Creator, from your divine God team, from the world around you, including eventually which direction to go. So there it is. You're sitting still so that you can become better acclimated and better positioned in this world, and understand what path you should be following once you begin to move again. Okay? And this will be the last card. So now we're getting into your timeline spread. And I've laid down 5 cards. And it's 1 card for each week that'll show the energies that are taking place and what may happen during that week, that particular week. And then the 5th card shows and picks up any extra energies that just may be, hanging around as far as the month that we may or may not have already touched on in the prior reading, prior part of this reading. Or it may just be reiterating and amplifying something that we did touch on. Also, the 5th card is what catches if the energies of any extra days or an extra weekend, for instance, if there's an extra weekend in a month. So let me go ahead and get started with that. So the first week of this month, the card for that week, the first week, which was last week, is titled Twin Flame, Angus. Yeah, and this is really just talking about the majority of you moving closer, getting into sync more with this partnership that you have or will be having. And here's why I say also, and it confirms what I was mentioning earlier that I picked up on, that there may be one or a few of you who are actually moving away from this partnership, but that's far and few in between. And I'm also picking up that some of you that are walking away have started to walk away or have walked away. Some of you may have already last week or will be shortly returning, or your partner will be returning. So I'll leave that with you. But the reason why, and this is a confirmation of, like I said, what I said earlier, as far as a majority of you are cementing and growing and giving more dedication to this relationship. But there are 1 or 2 of you, less than a handful of you, that have turned away from it. And if you notice, out of the 4 birds here, this is why I know it's the confirmation. 3 of them are flying in the same direction, which is the majority of you. Only 1/3 of the 4 of this group of birds are going against the flow, are breaking away from. They decided not to go, the direction the rest of them are going. They turned around. And that also tells me that there may be, for those of you Tauruses that thought that this relationship was over, it may not necessarily be so, because this bird is also turned around and going back to one of these partners as well. So it's a double, I'm getting almost like a double vision here, a twin vision, if you will. So it seems like a process was started and may have even been completed, but that may be revisited. Okay? So I hope I explained that well, what I was seeing in that card. But next card shows the second week, which is what we're in, which is almost over. Second week of July, and it's titled Merlina. This harkens back to what I was saying initially in your initial message from your team, that some of you just, in sitting with and trying to process everything that you're going through, all of these emotions from the past that have welled up within you and are just, swirling, you really don't know which way to go with them. But you already have been told the only way to, the best way to do this is to just sit through it. To be still and allow it to take place. Allow yourself to be still while these things flow and process themselves through you, so that you can purge them, essentially. But this is proof that a lot of you this week are really feel like it's too much. That this purging process is doing a number on you, and you feel like maybe that you should be moving in some direction or another, but when really it's designed that you shouldn't, that you should be still during this. So I feel an almost anxious or antsy energy, because you don't know. You just are looking this way and that way, when you just need to be looking within and going still, like the energies are trying to get you to do. Okay? Next week, the third week of July, shows The Opportunity to Forgive is the title of the card. And so you're going through the purging process. It sounds like a lot of it has already happened, and that a lot of it is actually happening now this week. But as it continues into next week, it's showing me, excuse me, there's even more growth for you, but this is on a more even keel. It's not going to be as intense as this week, but it allows you to continue through this growth process. I feel like by this time, most of the purging and the crying and all of that, most of it is water under the bridge. It's pretty much done. But the next segment of this is the healing from all of that, to rebalance yourself, and part of that is forgiving. And this, I'm getting that it has much more to do with forgiving your partner than anything else. Or, for those of you who don't have the partner yet, forgiving your future partner for not, in your mind, for not being there yet, for not being here for you. It may sound strange, but that's the energy I'm picking up, and I do understand that. For almost not showing up for you yet is what you need to forgive them for. Even though you've never met them, there is this energy that you're holding against them. The "why aren't you here yet, I need you" type of energy. That's going to be looked at next week. Okay, then the last week of this month, the fourth week, is the card is titled Ariel, and this is giving me the sense that you are literally going to feel towards the end of this month like the heavens have opened up in a good way for you, like you can finally breathe again. Like the world makes a little bit more sense again to you, at least in your own relationship, in your own life. It's almost like a whole new world for you begins to open up, and you feel better. You feel lighter, like you do like anyone does after a really good drenching cry. That type of feeling, how you feel afterwards, like you feel like the whole world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and it's like, oh, okay, I can breathe deeply again. That's what's going on for you the last week of this month. And then the extra energies, or the fifth card, is called What Do You Desire? And this is asking you that while you are in this state of stasis almost, this just, it's not stagnant, but just very still energy, while you're in this mode, you are also part of that stillness is the universe asking you, what is it that you want? Because you know, for the most part, most of you know that you want this relationship. That's a fact. That's just what it is. But this goes back to this card, the challenge for this month. Little things, not anything you need to really lose any sleep over. No big thing, but little things that have to be fine-tuned. What is it you really desire? Fine-tune the little things in the relationships. Get more clear on what it is you do want, so that you can eliminate the little things that are hanging around that you don't want. The little things that need to be cleared up will be cleared up once you more clearly decide all of the little details that you do want within this union, okay? And since this is not just for any specific week, this is really a general energy of all 4 weeks, this entire month. What I would suggest, it's not that I'm picking this up, but I'm just following the flow here, and it's my own personal opinion because of this card, that it might be a good thing for you today. And I believe another event is coming up on the 27th of this month. But today I would start, since today is the 12th, and I believe today at 11 p.m. tonight, Eastern Central Time, that is tonight's definitely a new moon, but it's also the partial solar eclipse. Did I get that right? Is it 11 a.m.? If it's a solar eclipse, it might have already happened. So either way, between the solar eclipse and the new moon today, after you finish viewing this, what I would do is get out the old pen and paper and start clarifying some things that and declaring some things that you want on a piece of paper, because new moon is about bringing in new energies. It's about things that you want to bring in. Full moon is about releasing. New moon, which is happening today, is about bringing in things that you desire. So I would take the time to put pen to paper and write down, clarify, fine-tune, and tweak what you do want to occur and happen and bring into this relationship that is forming for you, has formed for you, or will reform for the ones that are going back to relationships that have been walked away from. Okay? That, my dear Taurus friends, is your July reading, and I wish you all the best in the world and many blessings in your relationship. Okay? I'll talk to you soon.